Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of Taurus Moon, Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now we're going to do a 2018 flight astrology revamp on Taurus. Now, let's break it down. This is Taurus in a flight shell, in a nutshell. Now, Taurus and the star constellation was created by the second house. Now, what is the second house? Now, once I break all this down, this is going to give you a broad perspective of the whole archetype of Taurus in general. So, what is the second house? The second house represents values. Whether that's a person, place, or thing, or concept, or religion, whatever's in your life, your values, and how much it impacts you in your life creates your volume. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's also the house of what you have to offer to the world. And that could be externally or internally. Internally could be a hidden gift, talent, trait, or whatever. Externally can be a person, place, or thing that's in your life that you can resonate your energy with, and y'all both can help each other out based upon what you both have to offer to the world. Also, so it's a value thing. Now, also, it deals with the house of planting seeds and building your self-esteem. So this is the second house. So, off the bat, that energetic force and all that is pushed into the Taurus archetype. You see what I'm saying? Now, what else is going on with Taurus? Now, Taurus is ruled by Earth. Now, Taurus is ruled by Earth. And what you say? What you mean Earth? It is Earth, yeah. But Earth, the planet, the star that you're on, it's also ruled by that too. Don't be naive to the fact of the actual natures and the vibrations that's going on right now. Now, Earth, what does Earth represents? Earth represents nurturing, caring, growth, stability, schedule, shape, form, pattern. That's what Earth represents. So it represents fixated stability and being foundated and creating stability. This is why you are even able to experience things of like trees and things, altars and things of that nature, for people can build themselves on. You see what I'm saying? So that's Taurus. That's Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Earth. Now, Taurus is also co-ruled by Venus. Now, Taurus is co-ruled by Venus. Now, what is Venus? Venus is love, appreciation, value, and how one relates to another. And also what one is willing to compromise with. So that can lead into habits, overindulging, and experiences that may lead to you needing to understand how to do things in moderation. So this is all that is backed and supported by Taurus. So Taurus may lead into habits at certain times of overindulging or loving, appreciating, and valuing earthly things and growth and nourishment and stability and practicality, and you know what I'm saying, and stableness in society and on the earth that we're on right now is represented in ways of money, comfortability, jobs, having things, having material things. So you know what I'm saying, it's just all energy playing out in different shapes and form, but this is the frequency that's being played out. Now, also, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So what does that mean? What is the moon? The moon is who you are. It's correlating to your vibration, your fluid, your waters, your soul. So it's who you are. So basically it's how you react, because you know who you genuinely are. You're just constantly receiving, and don't nobody know who you are until you bounce off frequency or vibration and things of that nature. So you know what I'm saying, the moon correlates who you are. So it's how you react, how you respond to the world that you're in. You see what I'm saying, and your reactions and what makes you comfortable. So off the bat, with the moon being exalted here, anytime a planet is exalted, it can overexhaust itself. It's like a kid at Disneyland. It's like an adult at a place that it always wants to be. So you have to pay very close attention and not overexhaust yourself, but it's at a place that it always wants to be. So the moon likes to connect, like to make itself a part of, like to make it family or whatever it's doing. So by it being exalted in Taurus, it likes to connect to the earth. This is why the moon create the tides, create the water tides and things of that nature. And it's connected with the earth in ways that you may not never know. This is why the full moon, and you got the new moon and the phases and all this, that, and the third. See, it's deeply connected like a mother type of energy. But being in Taurus is here to, it's exalted here, so it can overindulge into material, overindulge into connecting with practicality, with shapes and forms, with people, places, and things, and want to connect too much to these people, places, and things, to the point that it exhausts itself, and these people will run, and these people will use the Taurus as a crutch, to the point that the Taurus have to snap out of it and realize it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. That's the moon is exalted, and so Taurus is carrying all this energy also. This is all the Taurus archetype. Now, Pluto is away here. Now, with Pluto being away, what happens here is, what is Pluto? Deep transformation, deep willpower, deep passions, deep motivations. It's everything of Mars on the deep end. You know what I'm saying? Pluto is like Mars longevity. Mars would be like, where we going out to eat today. Pluto will be like, where we going grocery shopping for the rest of the month. So Pluto will revolve around power and control and transformations in one's life. Because you have to transform an aspect and gain power and control, or lose power and control in certain ways, for you to understand what you truly deeply desire. Your deep will powers. To find out your deep powers. Your deep secrets that you didn't know you had abilities to. You know what I'm saying? To see your deep passions. You would never be able to uncover these without some form of transformation, or without some form of power and control struggle. You see what I'm saying? So, Pluto being away here, Pluto really doesn't like to be here. So this is the archetype that all Tauruses may play out, and especially people who may have Pluto and Taurus. But for the most part, see, Earth and Taurus is all about, you know, fixated and being stable, you know, and not moving until it's safe. You know, Pluto is all about transformation. So it's all about moving. It's all about gaining power and control. But you can't gain power and control over a mountain with your little arms. You see what I'm saying? So this can be very chaotic for Pluto. Very crazy in the mind for Pluto. So a lot of times, this is the Taurus archetype, and this is what it may play out. So Taurus may look at a bunch of chaotic people, or unstable people, or people who don't know how to create foundation in their life. Tauruses may look at these type of people as transformative. They may look at these people as not having power and control over anything. They may look at these people as not making sense. You see what I'm saying? So it all builds into the archetype of things. Now, so Tauruses like to stay the same. They don't like to transform. The moment you a fluky person, Tauruses may look at that as a form of, oh, this is a transforming type of person. We don't need no chameleons around here. We need to stay solid. And that will be another word that a Taurus will use. So, also, Mars is away also. So what is Mars? Intent, willpower, passion, motivation, desires. So you see what I'm saying? Now, it's away. So it's another placement that kind of likes to be the soldier, or to be the one who takes a leap of faith, or jump before actually looking what's on the ground. You see what I'm saying? Mars put Tauruses in that situation. So Mars is away here. So this how Tauruses may even look at people who have a lot of ambition and intentions, but don't know how to take shape and form to it. That's like a person who's trying this, trying that, and they keep stumbling and falling, and then they're acting like they don't care that people are seeing them stumble and fall, because this person have a certain amount of faith that if they just do the right thing at the right time, shit gonna happen. All those experiences is like a waste of time to a Taurus. A Taurus will look at that like, once you just take the practical way of going about something, stay put, see that thing all the way through, and if it works, it works. If it don't, then move on. You see what I'm saying? So with Mars being away in Taurus, this would build the Taurus archetype also. So now, so Tauruses don't like to put a lot of passion, motivation, and intent into things that may not work. You know, something has to make sense. It has to be practical. The Taurus had to come to a practical conclusion to be like, okay, this is something I can stay fixated on. This is something I can get with. This is something I can be stable with. This can make some money. Then that's when Tauruses step in and start using their intent, willpower, passion, motivation, and desires. Now, we got, now it's ruled, now it's an earth element. So earth represents thinking and being practical. It's fixed. So fixed means being fixated on its own. So when you got a Taurus right here, this represents a person being fixated on their own way of thinking and being practical, which ultimately is making sense out of things. And Tauruses are the masters of the five senses. So when I say masters of the five senses, Capricorns, Virgos, and Tauruses kind of got a grip on the senses and got a grip on this realm of reality a lot better than the other three elements, right? But Taurus may have the upper hand because they know how to understand, and I don't want to say upper hand, but let's just say this. Tauruses know how to understand the five senses from a left and a right brain point of view. You see what I'm saying? Now your left brain is constantly receiving. This is why the left brain controls the right part of your body. So for the most part, when we talk about the left brain aspect of the senses, we could say sight, touch, smell, hear, taste. But Tauruses know how to flip this on the right brain side. So this what gives them mastery over the five senses based upon, because their space and what they're ruled by and things of that nature. The right brain aspect about being this is Taurus got good taste. You see what I'm saying? Tauruses like to touch good things, and they can feel you in a material way, but they can feel you. You see what I'm saying? Also, Tauruses have sight. They realize. Tauruses can smell when something is up, when something's not right. See, that's different than the left brain sense of smell. You see what I'm saying? We're talking right brain right now. So you can go on to that. You know, Tauruses can hear. They can hear what's actually going on. They hear what you said. You see what I'm saying? You might be saying a whole bunch of this, that, and the third, and you're talking too fast and you're talking about a whole bunch of this. Tauruses can filter all that out and know exactly what you're trying to say. They come to the practical conclusion. You ain't have to say all that around them. See what I'm saying? They know what you meant. Now Taurus is left brain. Now Taurus is left brain. So the brain, the right and the left brain, everything has a yin and yang. Now Taurus is a yin sign. So what is yin? Yin represents going within to the internal realm. You see what I'm saying? So that could be passive or non-expressive or the feminine energy, whatever you want to call it. Now what is the left brain? The left brain correlates to being logical, which logically put out there. The external realm, the yang realm. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, here's what you have a yin as you have for the left brain, you have the yin and yang. The yang will be the air, the yin will be the earth. Now, so what happens here? The left brain is thinking, being logical, communicating. So earth is yin, the yin side of the left brain. So Tauruses and earth signs in general, but Tauruses like to go within with their thoughts and how they think and be practical. Same way air signs, they will express to the yang realm, to the external realm, what they think, communicate about the external realm. Tauruses go within. So a lot of times they don't communicate until they come to a practical conclusion or make sense out of what they're trying to communicate. So they make sense out of, they go within a lot of times. So this what creates reservedness, being conservative. You know what I'm saying? Not expressing yourself until you're verbally prepared to express what you're trying to communicate. Now also, so yeah, that's Taurus is yin, left brain. So Taurus and earth signs in general, but Taurus right here is more logical. They like to think, be practical, to come to conclusions and analyze, but Tauruses like to go within with what they think and be practical. And a lot of times they like to take their within, which within a lot of times is your ideas and emotions and feelings. But since this is an earth sign, they like to go within and make shapes and forms out of that. So instead of expressing that as shapeless and formless like the fire and water may do, and express their feelings or express their thoughts like air may do, a lot of times they want to take action on it. So they'll take a feeling, an emotion, or a thought and want to make something out of it. Want to make some money or take action on it or piss somebody off, or, you know what I'm saying? They make a shape and form out of it. Because it really truly doesn't make sense in reality to just express it as is what it is and let everybody see how vulnerable and emotional you are. See what I'm saying? Now, Taurus is also, and last but not least, it is backed and supported by the Aries stars. So, you know, the Aries stars constellation, those stars over the period of time has slid and moved into the area location of Taurus. So you are Tauruses, all that what I said as your archetype are backed and supported by the lights and the influences of the Aries stars. So what happens here is all what I said is backed and supported by cardinal fire, initiating and creating new ways of how to see and how to feel about the world and the circumstances that you're in. Also backed and supported by intent, willpower, passion, and a motivation and desires. And you're able to have your own fixated way on how to think and come to practical conclusions and make sense out of that realm of reality. And that's Taurus in a nutshell. So it's like you got your own fixated way of how to think and be practical, which don't be stubborn, but be fixated and stand firm also. So you got a jump rope there. But you got your own fixated way of how to think and be practical and make sense out of initiating and creating new ways of how to see and feel about the world that we're in. So all this, so you are being fixated on your own uniqueness and originality and your way of seeing things right now. All Tauruses. See what I'm saying? And Tauruses have the energy to do so and create a foundation and structure in their life based upon these things. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.